Hi and welcome to my latest videos. Beatle Dave, the record collector, calling to you from a very cold, and I mean really freezing cold, Derby today on Saturday. We're going to be looking at an album that is very hard to get by, and it is a Beatles related album. But first I just want to mention something about the video I did earlier in the week, the tribute to the Cavern Club. I've had lots and lots of comments on that. One thing I've got to make clear is it's not a live album. There are all studio recordings. There is actually a live album. I think it is the big three performing at the Cavern Club, or it might have even been an EP. And I've got an album somewhere called This Is Merseybeat, which does feature live performances from the Cavern, which I'll have to dig out and show you. So yeah, it is a studio album, very hard to get, as is this next one that we're going to be looking at. Different location today. I'm sat in my front room because it's too cold to go upstairs. That is how cold it is. This is an album that was... It is a Beatles album, but it's not a Beatles album. It's basically songs that John and Paul wrote, either for the Beatles, but sometimes the Beatles didn't even record them, or they wrote for, artists, especially for that artist. There is one song on here which is technically, or could just about technically be called a Beatles recording. Everything else is by other artists. It used to be pretty easy to get, but just lately this album has gone up in price. Looking on eBay the other day, I don't think I could find one for less than £50. I paid £9.99 for this, to be honest. The cover's not in the best of conditions, but the record is okay. Yesterday I did play the tribute to the Cavern, and I did play this one as well, which was down here on my Denon record deck, going through a Technics amp and speakers. Similar setup to upstairs. This Denon amp actually was the one that I was going to put upstairs, but it sounds really nice downstairs, so we are keeping it down here for the time being. So the record in question is the songs that Lennon and McCartney gave away. You can see that okay. So you get, let me get my glasses, just bear with 1 sec, the dreaded Grandad glasses. That's better. Oh, I can see you. So you get 20 songs on this. Some are from the 60s when the Beatles were still around, and some are, a couple are later songs. It starts off with one of the best songs John Lennon ever wrote, to be honest, called I'm the Greatest, which was featured on Ringo Starr's 1973 album called Ringo, which is actually calling out for box set into that album. This is the track that you could almost class as a Beatles song, because John's on it, George is on it, Ringo's on it, Klaus Voormann is on it, Billy Preston's on it, and I think Nicky Hopkins is on it as well. The only Beatle that isn't on it is Paul. Very brilliant song. I'm sure you don't really need any introduction to that. Then we've got 1 and 1 is 2. The Strangers with Mike Shannon. I don't think the Beatles ever did a version of that themselves. Then you've got From a Window, Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas, fantastic song. Then you've got Nobody I Know, Peter and Gordon. Again, all these songs were written by John Lennon, Paul McCartney, or John Lennon or Paul McCartney. No George Harrison songs on this, by the way. Then we've got Like Dreamers Do, the Applejacks. Now, the Beatles did a version of that for the Decca audition, didn't they? Then you've got I'll Keep You Satisfied, Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas. Love of the Loved, Cilla Black, fantastic song. Then you've got Woman, Peter and Gordon. Now, the credit for this, the writing credit, is Webb, but it was actually Paul McCartney. Then you've got Tip of My Tongue by Tommy Quickly, who was actually managed by Brian Epstein, I think. It is actually quite a nice song. I don't think it went anywhere in the charts when it was originally released. And then you've got I'm in Love the Foremost. So, I'm the Greatest was 1973. 1 and 1 is 2 is 1964. From a Window is 1963. Nobody I Know is 1964. Like Dreamers Do is 1964. I'll Keep You Satisfied, 1963. Love of the Loved, 1963. Woman, 1966, I think that says. Tip of My Tongue, 1963. And then I'm in Love, 1963. So side 2 starts off with Hello Little Girl, the foremost again. The Beatles did record that, never officially released. It was again they did it on the Decca audition tapes. I think they did it a couple of times on the BBC radio shows they did at the time. That's from 1963. Then you've got That Means a Lot, PJ Proby. Well, the Beatles tried to do a version of that during the recording for the Help sessions, I think. That is actually quite a strange version of that. PJ Proby's got a very distinctive voice, but when this starts off, it sounds like it's to a film soundtrack. It does actually sound like, you know, the opening of the song does actually sound like it could have been in a film. But then when he starts singing the song, it's a fantastic rendition. That's from 1965. Then we've got It's For You, Cilla Black. Again, fantastic vocalist. 1964. Cilla Black is very, very underrated nowadays, I think, as a singer. Most people in the UK, unfortunately she's passed away now, but most people in the UK would associate Cilla Black with doing like TV shows. She did have her own show, the Cilla Black Show, and then it was It's Cilla. Then she did Surprise Surprise and things like that, and you know, so most people, and Blind Date. So most people would think of her as, you know, a television star, and at one time I think she was the highest paid TV star in the UK, but she was a fantastic singer in her own right. She did some absolutely fantastic songs, some brilliant albums. The Beatles did encourage her to, you know, she started off as a cloakroom attendant in the Cavern Club. You know, they did encourage her to sing, and you know, a lot of her early hits or early songs were Lennon and McCartney songs. She did do cover versions of Lennon and McCartney songs virtually all the way through her recording career. She did actually do quite a nice version of Yesterday as well. Then we've got Pana by Carlos Mendes. That was written by Paul McCartney, and that's 1969, and that isn't one of Paul McCartney's best songs, to be honest. It's okay, don't get me wrong, there's people that will like it, but it's not my cup of tea, to be honest. Then you've got Step Inside, love. Step inside, love. Oh yeah, step inside, love. Again, Cilla Black. Credited to Lennon and McCartney, but it was actually written by Paul, wasn't it? 1968, that one is. Then you've got World Without Love, Peter and Gordon, 1964. Again, fantastic song. Then you've got Bad to Me, Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas from 1963. There is actually a version of John Lennon doing that on an acoustic guitar. And there used to be another version where somehow they've got him singing with the Dakotas. So they've superimposed John's voice where Billy J. Kramer would have been. And it does actually, you know, you can imagine what it would have sounded like if the Beatles would have done. I'm surprised the Beatles never actually did do that, because it is a fantastic song, isn't it, really? Very, very underrated in the Lennon and McCartney catalogue, I think. Big hit, though. It was a massive hit for Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas. Again, I think, if I remember rightly, Billy J. Kramer is recording some new material at the minute, or has been recording some new material at Abbey Road Studios. Don't know if any of it's come out yet. If you know, let me know. I'd like to hear it. Very underrated, I think, Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas. You know, they were a fantastic band in their own right, but because a lot of his early songs were written by Lennon and McCartney, you know, I don't think he really gets the credit that he deserves. I don't know if he wrote songs himself or not, but he was a very, very, very good singer. We've got to I Don't Want to See You Again, Peter and Gordon, 1964. Again, it's an okay song. I can sort of understand why the Beatles didn't record it. That's no disrespect, but yes, it would have made a nice album track or something like that, or maybe even a B-side. Then we've got I'll Be On My Way, Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas. You know, Billy J. Kramer did do a lot of Lennon and McCartney songs, didn't he? That's from 1963. And then the album finishes off with a song called Cat Call. Well, Paul McCartney did write that, and originally it was called Cat's Walk, I think. And this is by a band called the Chris Barber Band, who was actually a jazz band. And their arrangement of that is absolutely amazing. You check it out if you can get a clip of it on YouTube or Spotify or something like that. If you check out that, it'll give you an idea what sort of some of the songs are like on that. Although, to be honest, that is a later song because that's from 1967. And it is quite, it's like they've done it so it sounds like he's doing it live in a jazz club. I don't think he is, but that's the way it comes across. I'm not quite sure when this album came out, to be honest. It is on an EMI label, and as an EMI I mean EMI, it's not on Parlophone or Columbia or anything, it's EMI, and the catalogue number is NUT 18. It doesn't actually say when this came out, I don't think. You do get some sleeve notes on the back which tells you all about the songs. That's very reminiscent of Revolver, isn't it, that bit there? And then these are like the people that are doing the songs off. That's Ringo, that's Cilla Black, that's Chris Barber, that's Billy J. Kramer. I think that's Tommy Quickly, Peter and Gordon there, PJ Proby, obviously Cilla, and I think that is the foremost there at the back. It does actually tell you there, you can actually look and it will tell you who they are. So do you want to have a look at the labels, folks? It's an ordinary EMR sleeve, which I think is how this came originally. I did have a copy of this many years ago, and those of you that are regulars to the channel will know that in the early 2000s I got rid of almost all of my record collection. I think I kept about 10, maybe 15 records out of a collection that was 3,000 plus. This was one of them that went, at the time, in the 80s, this was quite common to come by. Now you don't see it very often, and like I say, I was quite surprised what this was going for on eBay. Like I said, I didn't pay anywhere near what it was going for. I paid I think it was £9.99, and then with the post and packaging it came to just under £15. But the record itself is mint. Absolutely fantastic. I think it says it came out in 1978, but I could be wrong. Can't really see. So that is the label, EMI. Nice shiny record, and the sound quality on this is absolutely amazing. It really is a lovely record to listen to, and it's nice to hear other artists doing renditions of Lennon and McCartney songs. Why this hasn't been picked up by Apple, I don't know, because if they ever do like a Beatles compilation album, although we don't need one at the minute, do we? You know, and they decided to do it as a box set. So say like if they wanted to do, I don't know, the anthology as a box set, they could have this as a bonus disc, because a lot of the songs on here, the Beatles did demos of, which were on anthology. Not all of them, but a lot of them were. So EMI, that's what I mean. This is what the old EMI label used to look like in the 70s, even into the 80s in the UK and other parts of the world. Bands like Queen and Kate Bush and Steve Harling, Cockney Rebel, even the Sex Pistols' Anarchy in the UK was originally released in the UK on an EMI label like that, the single. Very hard to come by the way, that one. So yeah, lovely album. Flat as a pancake. Like I said, I played this yesterday. It sounded fantastic. I mean, don't get me wrong, my Denon record deck is actually, you know, for what I paid for that, I did get a bargain as well. But because it's going through decent amp and decent speakers, the idea with that was originally it was going to go upstairs, and I was going to bring my Technics deck back down here. So that would have been a complete Technics system, and one upstairs would have been basically complete Denon. But Sue says, well, I like that one. I know how to use that one, so I think that one's staying down here for the time being, which is okay. I mean, my deck's upstairs or all that kind of thing. So this is it. If you ever see this, the songs Lennon and McCartney gave away, and you're not going to pay a fortune for it, I'd highly recommend that you get it. Some of the songs, some people might not like. I presume that most of these were, you know, like I've said, a lot of these were on the anthologies with the Beatles doing it as demos and stuff. Some quite famous songs on here, isn't there, really? You know, think about it. You know, I'm the Greatest probably could have been a single. What else we got? From a Window was a big hit. Like Dreamers Do was a sizable hit as well. I'll Keep You Satisfied was a big hit. Love of the Loved, sorry. Again, a brilliant song. Should have, you know, I know it did reach the UK charts. Woman, Peter and Gordon is probably very, very underrated. I think he wrote that under the name as Webb because he says, I'm going to try and write a song and give it to somebody without the magic Lennon and McCartney and see if it was still a hit. I don't think it was classed as a hit in the UK, but I think it got higher in the American charts than what it did in the UK charts. Could be wrong, and I probably am. Tip of My Tongue wasn't a hit. I'm in Love for the Foremost was a hit. Hello Little Girl was a sizable hit for the Foremost. That Means a Lot I don't think was exactly a massive hit for PJ Proby. It's For You was a sizable hit for Cilla Black, obviously. As was Step Inside Love. World Without Love, Peter and Gordon was a sizable hit. Bad to Me was a massive hit, wasn't it, for Billy J. Craig and the Dakotas. I Don't Want to See You Again, I don't know if that was a hit or not by Peter and Gordon. I do know the song, but like I say, I don't really know if it was a sizable hit in the UK. It must have been quite a big hit because I do know it, if that makes sense. But I've got a best of Peter and Gordon LP somewhere upstairs. I'll Be On My Way was a sizable hit, wasn't it? And then Cat Call by the Chris Barber Band, I think that got into the UK top 20, if I remember rightly. So yeah, a fantastic album. And this is really, really in nice condition. I say, in one way, this looks like it's a bit cheap, doesn't it, that cover? But then, if you look at it closely, I mean, that is basically how Paul was on Revolver, isn't it? And that, I think that's quite a nice drawing of John. And these are really, really nice. It wasn't done by Klaus, though. I'm quite surprised that they was allowed to do that when Klaus didn't do it. Sleeve concept, Colin Miles. Artwork designed by Adam Newham. Cutting engineer Harry T. Moss is a cutting engineer on this, which is probably why it sounded so nice. If you don't know about Harry T. Moss, he was probably the best cutting engineer EMI ever had. If you've got one of his and it says HTM in the dead wax, you know you've got a quality product. And the sleeve notes are by Tony Barrow, who was the editor and owner of the Merseybeat newspaper. So, do you need this if you're a Beatles fan? I'd say yeah, you do. You do. It's not essential. It is to me because I'm a Beatles fanatic. And like I say, you could used to pick these up for under £5 in the 80s. Now, you're looking to get one for under 50. I did very, very well. I did buy a couple of other things off the seller as well, so I think that's why, you know, I got it quite cheap. Well, I just put a bid on it and it won. He did say that he described it as cover very good and record near mint. Well, no, I'd say the record is near mint, but I would say the cover's a bit better than very good, wouldn't you? I mean, there's no damage on it as such, is there? So yeah, a little bit of creasing on the edge there. Yeah, a fantastic album. I don't think this ever came out on CD officially, but I seem to remember seeing it on CD a few years ago, but I don't think it was an official release. So yeah, check it out. If you've never heard of any of these songs, just write them down and check them out on a streaming device. You'll be very, very surprised at how versatile John Lennon and Paul McCartney's songwriting was over the years. Well, we know that anyway, don't we? You've only got to look at the things that the Beatles did release. So, you know, they could have probably made a few more albums, couldn't they, with the songs that was on these. But yeah, I'm highly delighted to have this in my collection. And again, it is one that I've been looking for years and years and years since I got rid of my collection in the early 2000s. So it took me best part of 20 years to find this at a price I was willing to pay. Would I pay more than £50 for this, and I wouldn't. In all honesty, no, I wouldn't. Although having said that, if you tried to get all these as singles, I think it'd probably cost you a hell of a lot more than £50 to find decent playable copies. So if you look at it that way, then yeah, it is. I'm happy with what I paid for this. Really, I'm happy with it. It is got to sit nice and proudly in my Beatles related album section. Like I say, technically you could class I'm the greatest as a Beatles song, just about, couldn't you? But that's a different topic altogether. We'll be getting into something that I don't really want to get into. So yes, I would highly recommend this. I would give this a 10 out of 10. That tribute to the Cavern, by the way, which is this one here. Again, I played that yesterday, and I would give that a 10 out of 10. So both of those there are a bit like holy grails to me. The Cavern Club one I've been wanting to get since the 80s, and the songs Lennon and McCartney gave away, I've been trying to get that since I got rid of my original LP collection many years ago. Oh, by the way, this one is not a live LP. And somebody did, I've had lots of comments on that tribute to the Cavern. Somebody did send me a comment the other day saying, oh, I've got a 3 CD set, something to do with the Cavern, and I didn't think I'd got it. So yesterday afternoon I went looking in my box of CDs, and I've actually found it. So I will be doing a video on that at some point. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video. I hope I haven't bored you too much. Like I say, you know, to get some of them, both of them, some people on eBay, that would cost me best part of £200 to get those two, and it cost me under £30. So yes, I'm chuffed. Really, I'm chuffed. Cheap as chips, really, isn't it? As they say in England. Whatever you're doing, please stay safe. As I've said, it's very cold and icy in the UK. Morning, everybody, or afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Stay safe. So, whatever you're doing, please, like I say, whatever you're doing, please stay safe. Thank you to everybody that is subscribing, leaving me likes and leaving me comments. I've had some really lovely comments just lately, to be honest. I think I've got some of the best subscribers there is out there. What else can I tell you? Not really a lot. What am I going to do today? Not a lot. It's that horrible. I don't even want to take the dog out for a walk. Don't get me wrong, we have got a big garden and he's been running around in the garden. He's fast asleep at the minute, snoring his head off. So if you hear any strange noises, it's my dog Bailey. It's not me. Like I say, you are the Beatle Dave. I love you all. Thank you for being part of my channel. You all mean the world to me. And you know, just stay safe. Don't take any risks out there. You know, if the weather's bad, if you need to go somewhere, give yourself plenty of time to get there. Don't rush. You know, Christmas is coming. We don't want any sadness, do we, before Santa comes and sees us all. I might be doing another video before I go back to work. I'm not sure. I am waiting for something to come in the post, which I hope will be here today. Excuse me. Nothing to do with the Beatles though, but I do think it will be worth showing it you when it gets here. So, love and peace to you all. You know, stay safe, that's what I'm going to say. And if you see any of these records, or if you've got this record, leave me some comments. What do you think about it? I know a few months ago somebody did say, have you got a copy of this? And I thought I had. But then I realised, no, I got rid of it. I've got one very similar to this. So yeah, fantastic records. Over the moon to own them. And love and peace to you all. And like I say, just stay safe. I hope I haven't bored you. You know, a little bit of Beatle Dave to start your Saturday off. Can't be bad, can it? So until next time, cheers, my dears.